So here's my blue quilt that I've been working on. People are saying, oh my word, you do things so fast. This is such an easy quilt. If you see here, it's 16 blocks. Okay, there's 2 blocks. One is a heart block right there, which I appliqued with just a blanket stitch onto the background, and the other one is right there, and it's a 4-patch, which I made with, well, I cut 5-inch squares. I had a few charm squares, blue ones, and then I cut the rest out of my yardage. So that's it. It's 16 blocks. It's not a very large quilt. It's only about 54 inches by 54 inches. The actual border from the tan, or the tan floral, to the rope to the actual paisley is one fabric. It's so that's about a 10-11 inch piece of fabric, and I just mitered the corners there. Very, very easy. What I did is I had a heart. I cut out I cut out a heart from a piece of paper, and actually I'm showing this quilt now, but why I was making the heart is not this Sunday, but the following Sunday is my block party, and block number 8 is going to be this 4-patched applique heart. And as I was making it, and I was showing the tutorial on how to make that heart block, I just thought, oh, I'm just going to make a blue quilt and use some of my blue fabrics up. So that's what I did. It's 8 heart appliques. So I don't know if you can see, they're blankets stitched on, and then a echo stitching around the heart, around the edge of the heart, and then two stitches, 2 quilting stitches inside the heart, and then just on the actual 4-patch, I did the heart motif. Backed it with a blue fabric that I've had, and then I bound it with a blue and white tiny gingham print. So there you have it. Again, not a very large quilt. It's yeah, about 54 inches square. 16 blocks, that's it. So easy. And I don't mean to sound bragging when I say that, but it truly is. Look at it. It truly is. In fact, you might say, oh, this applique heart here looks hard. Well, then you could just do one plain. Just cut out a piece of material out of a heart and blanket stitch it onto the backing. And as I say, in about 2 weeks' time, or a week and a half, I show the tutorial how I actually did that on my block party. So, but the 4 patches there are literally 5-inch squares sewn together. And then just the 4 rows sewn together, and one border put around it. So yes, it is an easy quilt for anybody. I realize I'm fast, but it doesn't have to be a fast quilt, but it is a super easy quilt for somebody to make. Again, I let my fabric do the work. What a fabulous fabric I got. This was a striped fabric. Hopefully that's in focus, I don't know. This is a striped fabric that I had gotten yardage of years ago. And I just cut out the stripes out of it, and did a very, very wide stripe. Oh, here's Bear. Here, Bear, come on. Here's my grand dog who I've been sitting. Say hello, Bear. Say hello. Maybe they're going to come and get her today, my son and daughter-in-law. What do you smell? Can you talk? Listen to this. Woo, woo. Bear, 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 Bear. Oh, she won't do it. She howls like a wolf. She's part wolf. Anyway, wolves aside, there's my quilt. Real thrilled about it. And I made a blue quilt. So thank you for following along. Say thank you, Bear. Say bye-bye, Bear. Thanks, folks. Bear says goodbye. See you later. Bye. you've just seen the quilt. This is just more of a show and tell to show you my blue quilt. But I just wanted to show you. A lot of people say when you have don't know how when you have an applique, how to actually quilt. And I just wanted to show you, this was my applique pattern, but I want to show you what I've done in this block. But first of all, I'm just going to put that over here. On this quilt, I will actually stitch in my applique. I don't mind that. A lot of people just like to echo stitch, and I suppose that would be okay. I have not stitched my stitches here. This was the 4 patch, if you remember, I was showing you, but I've not stitched the actual stitches here. I've chosen to leave them free. So for now, if I just stitch from here, the block, that's about 8 inches, and I think it's a little bit too far apart for my actual liking, and I don't really want to stitch this down. So I'm actually going to stitch in a free motion quilting around the edge of the applique. Now, as you can see, I have blanket stitched, as I was showing you. Oops, let me pull this around here. Yeah, I have blanket stitched my hearts down. Let me just see, is that? Yeah, that's better. I blanket stitched my heart applique down onto my backing fabric. But right now, I'm just stitching around the outside, very, very close to the edge of that applique. You can't hardly even see it because it's right on the edge, right sort of on the line of the applique, of the blanket stitch, actually. Actually, I do need my light, sorry. So I started in here. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to come down about 1 inch, and I'm going to what's called echo stitching. Well, echo is on the outside, but I'm echoing it on the inside. I'm just going to eyeball about 1 inch around the heart. Come down that stitch, and then it's not going to be perfect, but keeping in mind all the way, you can see I'm not going real fast. I'm coming down. It's nice because I have this actual seam as my reference. And then I'll come back up. Now, as you can see this stitching. So I want to be as good as I can. And then I do the exact same because I'm going to make a triple heart. I come down about 1 inch, and this is just going to be a small heart. And what you can do if you get proficient at free motion quilting is to eyeball where you're going to be going. I'm going to go up here, and that's not quite 1 inch, about 3/4 of an inch. It's great, it's fine. I come back down to there, get my bearings, and come back up. As you can see, my stitches are quite small because I'm trying to be real careful. And it's not perfect, but I like it. And there's my 3 quilted applique heart, which has some, because this isn't stitched down, that actually has some puffiness in it. So now, where's my bobbin thread? My bobbin thread, did it go? Oh no, here it is. So now, my scissors. I'm just grabbing my scissors. So now I just wanted to show you, again, it's not a tutorial or anything, but how I actually did the 4 patch. Now this was my pattern, as you can see, this is my pattern for my applique. Because my applique was a little bit, because this pattern was about 1/4 inch bigger, and my stitching went all the way to the top. I wanted because of the way I'm stitching, I cut my pattern down about 1/4 of an inch. This was slightly, as you can see, this pattern was slightly larger when I actually cut out my applique. And then this is the raw edge. But when I'm actually quilting my hearts on my 4 patch, the same way, the 3 stitches, what I do is I cut it a bit smaller, and then I just hold it and actually just stitched around that pattern, obviously not touching it, just as a guide, just as this stitching here, this applique was my guide. This is sort of my applique. And then what did I do is I stitched my 1, then I came back down 2 and 3. So it echoes, as you can see. This is just a 4 patch, but I have my heart quilting stitch. Yeah. So I did another one here. This is one, and so now I'm going to just put this on, and again, it's a very easy way to do an applique because my quilting stitch, because I can actually line up this heart on the top and on the bottom, and then just stitch around in my free motion quilting stitch. So here's my blue quilt. This was, as I was saying, this is an easy quilt. It's 8 4 patches, which took me not very long, and then 8 applique, which cut out, stabilized it, blanket stitched it, and there's and then squared up my block, squared up my background, and now I'm quilting it. And this is, as I was saying, this piece of fabric, this is one piece of fabric. This is a striped fabric. And look at all that interest. You get a border and a little border and a rope border and then this big paisley border. It's just one hunk of fabric. So this was easy. There's my backing, real pretty, like a navy blue. So yeah, so I'm just going to finish quilting this. Finish quilting this. I don't know what I'm going to do in here. I may go across like I do, or just even down because it's a busy border. I'm not sure, but that's how I quilted my applique.